All right, so the Ruckus needs a few little tweaks. So today what we're going to do is replace the fuel line on it because the current one is a little tight. I had replaced the carburetor in it and the fuel inlet is on the opposite side, so the current fuel line is stretched a little farther than I'd like. So we're going to replace the fuel line, make it a little longer, just give it a little extra slack so it doesn't come loose. The other thing that I want to do is adjust the idle speed on this. It's kind of been stalling out, so we need to increase the idle a little bit. We're going to get into that today and make this little guy run even better. Now, of course, the first thing we have to do is get under here so we can get to where the fuel line is, where the idle speed is. We're going to be taking off, of course, our storage bag here, AIRMOTO shout out, and then taking off this covering for all of this so we can just have access to it. Power tools make it so much easier. Here's our carburetor air filter. This right here is where we would adjust the idle speed. This right here is our fuel line coming in, and it's stretching over here and coming in. It's hard to see it right there. And that's just a little too tight the way it's running over everything. So that's going to be the first thing to replace. We just need to take it off right here. Yeah, that's what we need to do. There. And then get it over to the carburetor. This is what I got. Most Racing 3/16. I hope that's right. We'll find out. We'll see if Google is right. So this should give me plenty of slack coming from about right here. I've got this is a clear tube now. So I'm gonna go about right there, and instead of coming up across the engine here, I think I'm gonna come around the side and under here. And that way it's on its own path. It's not pinching any other cables and such. So I just need to make a little room right here. So you've got the little thing that cinches in the fuel line right there on it. Get some needle nose pliers to pinch that loose so I can replace that. And then same thing over here. All right. So let me go get some needle nose pliers and we'll be back. It's tough because it's making that tight turn, which is again one of the reasons that I don't want to keep using the same fuel line. There we go. Got it backed off. Coming from the tank. And let's right there. Well, we will do the same. Hopefully. Okay, I've at least got it out to the front here. So then you can pinch it straight on, and sometimes that's easier to pull it up. Cool. I'm actually going to pull it off the carburetor first because gravity. I also did go ahead and open this to vent it, just so that there can be some airflow and any gas in the line can flow back. I don't know. I'm new to this. Pull the fuel line off. All right, this may take two hands, so. Okay. Woohoo. Let's pull this out. Try to unwind it here from all of this mess. But look right here. You can kind of see on the line here how it's probably not a bad thing, but there is a crease where it was just having unnecessary pressure on it, and I just don't want to continue. Let's see if we can pull. So there's this guy. I assume it's a fuel filter. So I'm going to keep that. I'm going to put it back. And then here is the line that we're replacing. And as you can see, this is going to be significantly longer. So that's a good thing. Cool. Let's make sure it actually works. Alright, so I had to cut this, but it was this protective, I guess, thing on the outside. I kind of want to reuse that, just extra protection, you know? Can't be too careful. Because, I mean, you don't want your fluids going somewhere where they're not supposed to be that causes something more expensive. You know what I mean? Cover it up. Alright, got the fuel line here. The fuel filter is going to go back on down here by the tank. I put that extra black sleeve on here, and then I can slide that into position where I want to. And the GoPro's wanting to overheat. Awesome. Freaking GoPro. Leave a comment. Insta360 or DJI? What should I do? Yeah, there it is. Cool. Got that up a little tighter. And I'm gonna make sure that's okay. Awesome. Now let's move over to going into the carburetor. And then the fuel inlet is just right here. So if it came across, that right there would be plenty. So that's where I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Additional expenses that you're not prepared for. So I got this little bracket on here. Move this stuff out of the way. So let's see, there is the inlet right there. So I just need to push that on. Well, that should be it. Okay. So as you can see, if I can point it out here with the key, the fuel line comes in right there. It's a clear tube, so it's coming out. It's got a little extra slack here, which again, that's not the worst thing. But I mean, we may be able to see the fuel just coming through. So we're going to see if this thing will actually crank up. Look at the fuel pump. Bring it in there. Awesome. Whoops. Gotta hold it. Okay, so the new fuel line is working great. No leaks. That's awesome. So that is a win. All right, so the next thing I want to do is we're actually just going to adjust the idle. Now, as you can see, this screw right here, this is where the throttle comes in. So how this throttle works right here is this right here coming in, the throttle cable here pulls a wire that runs down, comes in here, and then as I'm going to turn the throttle, full throttle, closed throttle, full throttle, closed throttle. So essentially the throttle is being, you control this valve that opens up. This screw will turn it just a little bit to allow it to be open just a little bit more to let more fuel in if you're stalling out, or you can back it down if your idle is too high. All right, so all we would have to do, put a screwdriver right there. Oops. To adjust the throttle, you just put a screwdriver right there, and turning it clockwise, righty-tighty, is more idle, and then counterclockwise, lefty-loosey, is less. So I'm just going to give it like maybe a quarter turn. But what I need to do is warm this guy up and see how it does after the idle comes down. So let me roll this bad boy out. On start. Gotta hold the brake as you start. God. All right, so the reds are backing down. All right, here's where it's warming up. Gonna be on standby. It needs a little bit more. Seeing every time I hear it starting to kind of lug a little bit and wanting to stall out, I just turn a little bit more throttle. A little bit more on the idle. So there's still a little bit of inconsistency in it idling when it I want it to be consistent. Sounds like it's getting there. Also, no fuel leaking. Good. Maybe just a little more. Sweet. Oh, it needs its stuff back on. Adjusting the idle is really easy. All there's left to do is just kind of button it back up and take care of it. So thanks for checking us out. Drop any comments or questions below. Consider subscribing. I'll see y'all in the next one.